Good day, everyone. Today we're here to present the Philippine art where we explore the rich history, culture, and creativity of the Philippines. The first example of Philippine art is print. The pre-colonial Philippines was a literate society with its own indigenous writing system. This means early Filipinos could read and write using native scripts, showing that literacy existed even before Spanish colonization. Printing in the Philippines began during the spread of Christianity and Spanish colonization in the 16th century. This happened because Spanish missionaries introduced printing to help spread religious teachings and support their colonial efforts. Literature works were produced by Catholic religious orders such as the Franciscans, Jesuits, Augustinians, and Dominicans. These religious groups created early printed materials mainly to teach catechism and local languages to Filipinos. This leads us to one of the first books printed here in the Philippines, the Doctrina Christiana en Lengua Española y Tagala. It was published in 1593 during the early Spanish colonial period. The author was Fray Juan de Plasencia. He was a Franciscan priest and is commonly credited with preparing and authoring the text. It was printed under Spanish colonial authority using xylography or woodblock printing. What makes this book unique is it was printed in three scripts. First is Spanish, second is Tagalog in Latin or Romanized script, and lastly, Tagalog in Baybayin script. Next is what the book is all about. The book is all about catechism. So before the Spanish missionaries could successfully spread Christianity in the Philippines, they needed a simple and organized way to teach the basic beliefs of the Catholic faith. This is why the Doctrina Christiana was created. It served as a catechism or a basic manual of Christian teachings designed to guide and educate early Filipinos. It includes prayers, articles of the Catholic faith, basic Christian doctrine, and guides for confession and commandments. Lastly is the importance in Philippine history and arts. First is the evidence of early written Tagalog. It provides one of the earliest surviving examples of Tagalog written in both Baybayin and Roman script, showing how Filipinos read and wrote during the 16th century. Second is the tool for Christianization. It serves as a simple teaching guide that helps Spanish missionaries introduce and spread the Catholic faith among early Filipinos. Third is the use of woodblock printing. It showcases the earliest printing technique used in the Philippines, reflecting the craftsmanship and artistic methods of the period. And lastly, the preservation of Filipino cultural heritage. It preserves important elements of pre-colonial language, writing, and tradition, making it a valuable cultural artifact for future generations.
And for the next one is furniture. Number 1. Baul. The baul is traditional Filipino wooden chest used for storing valuables, clothing, heirlooms, and important documents. Often crafted from hardwoods such as nara, kamagong, or molave. The baul showcases the artistry of local carpenters through its sturdy construction and decorative elements. In some Filipino families, the baul served as a hope chest where mothers stored items for their daughter's future marriage. And for the next example is aparador. The aparador is a large, freestanding wooden wardrobe commonly found in Filipino homes from the Spanish colonial period onward. Usually made from premium hardwoods, it features tall doors, sometimes fitted with capiz shells, glass panels, or ornate carvings, and spacious interior shelvings for clothes and household linens. Its designs combines practically with artistry as many aparadors exhibit elegant silhouettes, turn fits, and handcrafted moldings. And for the next example is komoda. The komoda is classic Filipino chest of drawers used for storing clothes and personal items, known for its curved front, elegant proportion, and curved details. The komoda demonstrate the height of Filipino cabinet making during the Spanish era. Trivia about komoda. The term komoda comes from the Spanish word for comfortable, referring to how convenient the drawer system was for storing clothing.
Next, we move to the importance of textile in the Philippine history and arts. First, cultural heritage. Textiles are more than patterns. They are stories woven into cloth. The traditional design you see represents the cultural heritage of groups like the Ifugao, Kalinga, and Tibuli. Next, we move to definition and method of textile. Philippine textiles are hand-woven natural fibers such as abaca, cotton, piña, and silk. These materials are combined for both function and beauty, making textile weaving one of the oldest art forms in the country. Textile carry symbolism often connected to beliefs, rituals, and cultural identity. Textiles include several techniques such as weaving is for traditional interlacing of fibers. Knitting is using yarn to create fabrics through loops. Natural fibers or synthetic fibers depending on the material we'll be using. And lastly, blends, which combine different fibers to create stronger or more unique fabrics.
And next, the Iron Age. The Iron Age in the Philippines from 500 BCE to 900 CE was marked by the introduction of iron technology through Austronesian settlers and regional trade, which allowed Filipino to craft durable tools and weapons. This innovation improved farming, fishing, and defense, leading to more stable communities organized barangay rules by datus. Filipino learned to make iron tools like axes, knives, bolos, and some iron weapons. This period saw active trade with China, India, Borneo, and Southeast Asia. Communities lives in barangay obtained near rivers or coast society had leaders called datus. And that's all for Iron Age.
And lastly, for our presentation is the Malong. A little background about the Malong. The Malong has existed since around the 1400s during the rise of the Islamic trade in Mindanao. Indigenous groups like the Maranao and Maguindanao developed and used it for their daily lives, rituals, and also their personal clothing. People use the Malong in many ways, like clothing, a blanket, a skirt, a baby carrier, or even for just decoration. It basically shows how creative and practical the people in Mindanao are, because one cloth can serve many purposes. These are different types of malongs. Firstly is the cotton malong. Obviously, it's made out of cotton and it's soft, breathable, and good for everyday use because it is very easy to wash and it's comfortable. Secondly is the silk malong, a malong made from silk. It's smooth, shiny, and even more expensive. It's usually worn on special occasions. And lastly, the Andon malong, a traditional Maranao malong decorated with Andon designs. It's known for its bright colors and detailed weaving, often used in cultural events or performances.